Welcome to HFY Galaxy 1 channel, another amazing HFY science fiction story. The roar hit Maya Chen like a physical wall the moment she stepped through the titanium gateway. 50,000 alien throats screaming in 17 different languages created a sound that vibrated through her bones. The Kelvorian Grand Arena stretched before her, a massive circular pit surrounded by towering holographic displays showing her face, her stats, her species designation in glowing crimson letters. Human. DEATHWORLD, probability of survival 12%. She smiled at that last part. Idiots. You still have time to forfeit, the arena master hissed through his translator implant. He was of Rin, tall and skeletal with too many joints in all the wrong places. His third eye blinked nervously. Your opponent has killed 43 challengers. Your primitive combat techniques will not save you here. Maya adjusted the leather wraps on her knuckles, taking her time with each finger. Tell me something. Did your scanners pick up what these wraps are made from? Lavrin checked his data pad, confusion rippling across his gray features. Animal hide, crude and inefficient. Our regulations require no technological enhancements, so this passes inspection, but I fail to comprehend the advantage of wearing dead skin into battle. It's buffalo leather, Maya said quietly, her dark eyes never leaving the arena floor. My great-grandfather wore these exact wraps when he fought in underground tournaments on Earth. Back when humans still remembered what real violence looked like, before we sanitized everything with energy shields and neural dampeners, these wraps have been soaked in the blood of 97 opponents over 3 generations.
Rish.
You want to know what makes them special? The arena master stepped back slightly. They remind me of where I come from. Maya walked past him without another word. The crowd's noise shifted as she entered the combat zone. Curiosity mixed with contempt. She heard the betting algorithms updating in real time, odds shifting against her with each step. Holographic advertisements for enhancement clinics and weapon manufacturers cycled overhead, promising superiority through technology. Then she saw him. Kryll the Destroyer lived up to his title. 9 feet of pure Catharian muscle, covered in bio-enhanced armor that pulsed with energy. 4 arms, each ending in retractable claws designed for maximum tissue damage. His species had evolved on a world with gravity 3 times Earth's standard, making them naturally stronger, faster, and more durable than almost any opponent. He grinned at her with too many teeth. They sent me a female? From a soft world? This is an insult. Maya planted her feet shoulder-width apart, dropped into a stance her father had drilled into her since she could walk. Weight on the balls of her feet, hands loose, breathing steady. Yeah, I get that a lot, usually right before they stop talking permanently. Kryll laughed, a sound like grinding metal. I will make your death quick, little mammal, as a courtesy to your inferior genetics. The referee, a floating sphere of programmed matter, activated the combat field. An invisible barrier surrounded them, trapping both fighters in a circle, 40 meters across. Energy crackled along its perimeter. No escape until one combatant stopped moving. Combatants ready, the sphere announced in a voice that echoed through every translator in the stadium. This challenge is sanctioned under Galactic Combat Regulations 7-12. Victory by incapacitation, surrender, or termination. Medical intervention available upon request. Begin on my mark. Maya inhaled slowly, tasting recycled air and alien sweat. 3, 2, 1. Engage. Kryll exploded forward with terrifying speed, closing the distance in less than 2 seconds. His multiple arms created a whirlwind of slashing attacks, each strike capable of tearing through reinforced steel. The crowd screamed their approval. Maya wasn't there. She had shifted left at the last microsecond, letting his momentum carry him past while she struck twice, fast and precise. Kidney, then floating rib, not hard enough to break through his armor, just enough to measure his reaction time and test his pain threshold. Kryll spun, genuinely surprised. You move well for prey. Prey doesn't come to arenas, Maya replied, circling right. Predators do. He charged again, this time adapting his pattern. Multiple feints followed by a genuine strike from his lower left arm. Maya blocked, feeling the impact rattle up through her forearm. Strong, very strong, but strength without precision was just noise. She countered with an elbow to his solar plexus region, following through with a knee strike that made his armor flicker. Kryll's eyes widened fractionally. She'd hurt him. Not much, but enough to register. Impossible, he snarled. Your bone density is too low. Your muscle mass is insufficient. You cannot generate enough force to penetrate my defenses. Maya grinned without humor. Your scientists measured us wrong. They looked at our muscles and our bones and our obvious physical traits. They never bothered studying what humans have been doing for the last 10,000 years, which is perfecting the art of making other things stop moving. She attacked before he could process the statement. What followed wasn't a fight. It was a master class in applied violence. Maya's strikes came from angles Kryll had never encountered. Elbows and knees and headbutts, all targeting nerve clusters and joint articulations that his species shared with most bipedal life. She didn't try to overpower him. She disrupted his balance, compromised his stance, and made him constantly react instead of act. Every block she made was also a strike. Every dodge positioned her for the next attack. Her footwork was hypnotic, a pattern of circles and triangles that kept her moving, never static, never a fixed target. Kryll's armor began cracking, not from overwhelming force but from repeated impacts in the same locations. Fracture point physics. Any material had weaknesses. You just needed patience to find them. What sorcery is this? Kryll gasped, backing away for the first time. Purple blood leaked from his mouth. What enhancements do you possess? None. Maya's breathing hadn't changed. Steady, controlled, economical. This is called Jeet Kune Do, mixed with Muay Thai fundamentals and Krav Maga practicality. We call it hybrid combat. My ancestors developed it because we didn't have claws or armor or genetic advantages. We had brains and determination and a really nasty habit of adapting to anything that tried to kill us. The crowd had gone silent. 50,000 beings are watching a human female systematically dismantling their champion with nothing but skill and ancestral knowledge. Kryll roared, activating his armor's emergency protocols. Energy surged through the bio-enhanced plating, doubling his strength and speed. He became a blur of motion, attacking with everything he had. Maya met him head-on. The exchange lasted exactly 4.7 seconds. Kryll threw 18 strikes. Maya threw 9. When they separated, Kryll collapsed to one knee, his armor smoking, 3 of his forearms hanging uselessly. Maya stood untouched, her knuckle wraps now stained with purple blood. Yield, she said quietly. Not a request, a statement of fact. Kryll tried to stand, failed, tried again. His legs wouldn't support him. He looked up at her with something between awe and terror. How? Your world is classified as low gravity. Minimal predator pressure. You should be soft, weak, easy prey for any true warrior species. Maya knelt, bringing her face level with his. That's the thing nobody in this galaxy understands about humans. We didn't need predators hunting us. We were too busy hunting each other. For thousands of years we fought wars that killed millions. We developed combat systems specifically designed to kill our own species in the most efficient ways possible. We turned violence into science, warfare into art, and survival into philosophy. She stood, addressing the entire arena now. You want to know why we're dangerous? It's not our muscles or our bones or our technology. It's because we're the only species in this entire galaxy that spent 10,000 years learning how to kill ourselves, then decided to stop and apply all that knowledge to protecting each other instead. We're reformed monsters, and that makes us the scariest thing you'll ever meet. The referee's sphere floated down. Champion Kryll is unable to continue. Victory to challenger Maya Chen of Earth. Under galactic combat regulation, she may now claim any prize from the defeated opponent, including but not limited to credits, property, or information. Maya looked down at Kryll. I want information about the Syndicate raid on Kepler Station 7 months ago. You were there. You participated. I want the names of everyone involved. Kryll's third eye blinked in confusion. Why? That was a sanctioned military action. All casualties were documented and compensated according to galactic law. One of those casualties was my younger brother, Maya said, her voice dropping to something colder than a vacuum. He was 17 years old. He was studying xenobiology. He wanted to build bridges between species, and your sanctioned military action burned him alive inside a research lab that wasn't even a military target. Understanding dawned across Kryll's alien features. You came here for revenge. I came here for justice. Revenge is just the method. Maya turned to the referee. The names. All of them. That's my prize. The sphere hesitated. That information is classified under military protection statutes. I cannot compel its release without proper authorization from the Catherian High Command. Maya smiled, but there was nothing warm in it. Then I guess I'll have to keep challenging champions until I reach someone with proper authorization. How many more of your warriors want to end up like him? The crowd erupted, some cheering, some booing, everyone shocked. This wasn't how these events were supposed to go. Humans were supposed to be weak, easily defeated curiosities. Not calculating hunters with vendetta lists and martial arts older than most spacefaring civilizations. The arena master rushed forward, his translator crackling with barely suppressed panic. This is highly irregular. I must consult with arena officials before proceeding with any further challenges. The betting markets alone require at least 6 hours recalibrate. Perhaps we could arrange a rematch next cycle after proper review of today's outcome and analysis of your combat methodology to ensure fair competition standards are maintained throughout all subsequent encounters. 6 hours works for me, Maya interrupted. I'll wait, but understand something clearly. I'm not leaving this station until I get what I came for. Names, locations, current positions, every single person involved in that raid, and if I have to fight my way through your entire champion roster to get those names, I will, because that's what humans do. We don't quit, we don't forgive, and we definitely don't forget. She started walking toward the exit, then stopped, turned back. Oh, and one more thing. Tell whoever's in charge of your military intelligence division that Maya Chen says hello. He'll know why that name matters. The arena master's third eye went wide. You're that Maya Chen, the one from the Earth Defense dossiers? The tactical consultant who designed the counterboarding protocols that stopped the Rim incursion at Titan Station. Maya's smile turned genuine for the first time. Surprised? You should be, because now you know I didn't come here to win a fight. She glanced at Kryll, still bleeding on the arena floor. I came here to send a message, and trust me, everyone who needs to hear it just did. She walked through the gateway as the crowd exploded into chaos behind her. Holographic displays flickered with emergency broadcasts. Security teams mobilized. Betting algorithms crashed trying to recalculate odds that no longer made sense. Maya found an observation deck overlooking the arena district. She unwrapped her knuckles slowly, carefully, treating the buffalo leather with the respect it deserved. Her hands were bruised but unbroken. Good. She'd need them for what came next. Her communicator buzzed. Unknown frequency, military encryption. She answered. Chen, that was quite a performance. A smooth voice said in perfect English. Male. Confident, amused. I haven't seen arena combat that one-sided since the Kelvorian Championships 18 cycles ago. Congratulations on your victory. Who is this? Someone who recognizes quality work when he sees it. Someone who might have the information you're seeking. Someone who would very much like to meet you in person to discuss terms of exchange. Maya's grip tightened on the communicator. If you know what I want, then you know I'm not in a negotiating mood. Oh, I'm aware. But here's the thing, Miss Chen. The information you want is considerably more complicated than a simple name list. The Kepler Station raid wasn't what your Earth defense files claim it was. There were human collaborators. There were classified experiments. There were reasons your brother was specifically targeted, not randomly killed. The world stopped moving. You're lying. Am I? Then explain why the lab he was in was hit first before any military installations. Explain why his research notes were confiscated instead of destroyed. Explain why no investigation was ever opened despite multiple requests from Earth diplomats. Someone wanted your brother dead, Miss Chen. Someone human, and I can prove it. Maya's hand shook. Rage, grief, disbelief, all fighting for dominance. Where? Level 42, Section Delta, Private Docking Bay 7. Come alone. Come armed if it makes you feel better. But come within the hour, or this conversation never happened. The line went dead. Maya stood frozen, staring at her reflection in the observation glass. Behind her, the arena district continued its chaos. Ahead of her was a choice that would define everything that came next. She rewrapped her knuckles, checked her concealed blade, took 3 deep breaths. Then she headed for level 42, walking straight into what was obviously a trap because sometimes the only way forward was through the fire. She just hoped whoever set this trap understood what happened when you cornered a human with nothing left to lose. Level 42 smelled like ozone and desperation, the kind of place where legitimate business ended and questionable arrangements began. Maya moved through shadows, her footsteps silent on corroded metal grating. Urenchi's lighting cast everything in sickly amber tones. Docking Bay 7 sat at the end of a corridor that had seen better decades. The entrance gaped open, an invitation that screamed trap so loudly it almost seemed honest. She entered anyway. The bay was empty except for a single figure standing beside a cargo container. Human. Male. Early 50s with a military bearing that decades of civilian life couldn't erase. He wore expensive civilian clothes, but his stance belonged to someone who'd spent years expecting violence. Maya Chen, he said without turning. You look exactly like your service photos. Same eyes, same walk. Your brother had those eyes too. Intelligent, determined, completely unprepared for how cruel this universe actually is. Maya's hand moved to her concealed blade. Start talking. You have 60 seconds before I stop being patient. The man turned, and Maya's world tilted sideways. She knew that face. Admiral Richard Voss, retired Earth Defense Force commander, decorated war hero, the man who'd personally delivered her brother's death notification and promised a full investigation. Surprised? Voss smiled without warmth. You shouldn't be. People with power rarely give it up willingly, and your brother was about to expose something that would have cost me everything. What are you talking about? Maya's voice stayed level through pure discipline. Kepler Station wasn't just a research facility. It was a black site. We were reverse engineering Catharian bioenhancement technology, illegal under every galactic treaty, but potentially worth trillions if we could crack it. Your brother discovered the program by accident, started asking questions, made recordings. He was going to blow the whistle. The pieces fell into place, with sickening clarity. So you had him killed, staged it as a Catharian raid. Not staged. We just provided coordinates and turned off specific defense grids. The Catharians did the actual work, thinking they were hitting a legitimate military target. Clean, deniable, effective. 17 researchers died that day. Acceptable losses for maintaining operational security. Maya's hands clenched. Acceptable losses. He was 17 years old. He was a liability. Voss pulled out a data pad. I have everything here. Proof of the program. Names of everyone involved, both human and alien. Financial records, communication logs. Enough evidence to dismantle the entire operation and put dozens of high-ranking officials in prison for life. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm dying. Voss laughed bitterly. Exposure to the bioenhancement process. Turns out Catharian DNA doesn't play nicely with human cells long-term. I have maybe 3 months, and I realized something in those final months. I spent my entire life chasing power, and it gave me nothing but an early grave and a legacy built on murdered kids. He held out the datapad. So here's my offer. Take this information. Burn everyone involved. Get your justice. All I ask in return is that when you tell this story, you mention that in the end I tried to make it right. Maya stared at the device. Everything she wanted was handed over by the architect of her brother's death. It felt wrong. Too easy. Too convenient. What's the catch? No catch. Just reality. I'm dead either way. But if I die knowing I helped destroy what I built, maybe that counts for something. Maybe not. I stopped believing in redemption around the same time I started coughing up blood. Maya took the datapad, her fingers brushing his. She felt the tremor in his hands, saw the gray pallor beneath his expensive skincare treatments. He was telling the truth about dying. There's someone else here, she said quietly. This bay is too exposed. Too obvious. Where's your backup? Voigt's expression shifted. Perceptive. Yeah, there's backup. The corporate security team is waiting in the access tunnels. They're here to make sure this information never leaves this bay. I don't control them. They control me. Always have. Then why meet me at all? Because I knew you'd figure it out. And I knew you'd come prepared. Voss gestured toward the shadows. You're not alone either, are you? Maya smiled. Never said I was. 6 figures emerged from concealed positions throughout the bay. Human Marines in light combat armor, weapons trained on every entrance. Her team, people she'd served with. People who'd lost friends at Kepler Station too. Command Team Alpha, Maya said into her comm. Execute containment protocol. What happened next was surgical. The corporate security team, confident in their surprise advantage, walked into a coordinated ambush. Flashbangs, neural disruptors, kinetic restraints, over in 17 seconds without a single fatality. Professional work. Voss watched his backup get neutralized without expression. Impressive. You were 3 steps ahead. Your tactical scores at the academy were legendary. My brother taught me to play chess when I was 6, Maya said. Always think 5 moves ahead. Always have contingencies. Always assume your opponent is smarter than they look. He was a good kid. Don't. Maya's voice went cold enough to freeze hydrogen. You don't get to talk about him like you knew him. Like you cared. You murdered him to protect your illegal operation and your precious career. Nothing you say or do now changes that fact. Voss nodded slowly. You're right. I just wanted you to know he didn't suffer. The fire was instant. He never felt pain. That's not the comfort you think it is. No, I suppose it's not. Voss looked at the data pad in her hands. So what happens now? You take that evidence public, destroy everyone involved, watch them all burn? Maya considered the question. Months of rage and grief and planning had led to this moment. She'd imagined it hundreds of times, confronting the people responsible, making them pay, getting justice for her brother. But standing here, looking at this dying man who'd orchestrated it all, she felt something unexpected. Not satisfied, not closure. Just exhaustion. You want to know the funny thing? She said. When I started this, I thought revenge would fix something. Fill the hole his death left. But it doesn't work that way, does it? He's still gone, and nothing I do will bring him back. Then why continue? Because it's not about fixing what's broken, it's about making sure this never happens again. About sending a message so loud that anyone thinking about sacrificing innocent people for profit thinks twice. Maya secured the datapad. Your evidence will go public. Every name, every transaction, every crime. And when people ask how this information came to light, I'll tell them exactly what happened, including your part in covering it up. The boss's face fell. We're not going to mention the redemption angle. Why would I? You didn't do this for redemption. You did it because you're dying and you want to hurt the people who used you. That's not nobility. That's spite. And spite doesn't earn forgiveness. Cold. Your brother was warmer. My brother's dead because he was warm. I'm alive because I learned to be cold. Maya signaled her team. Take him into custody. Medical bay first, then secure holding. He answers for his crimes in a courtroom, not a docking bay. As Marines secured Voss, he looked at Maya one final time. They'll come after you. The people named in those files. They have resources, power, connection. Let them come. Maya's smile was all teeth. I just took down your champion in front of 50,000 witnesses using nothing but my hands and some old leather. You think corporate assassins scare me? I think you're underestimating how much money is at stake. And I think you're underestimating what humans do when we decide something needs to end. We don't negotiate. We don't compromise. We finish it. Completely. Permanently. That's what being from a death world really means. We learned to survive because we were willing to do whatever it took. And right now, what needs to happen is your entire operation getting burned down to bedrock. Voss was led away, and Maya stood alone in the docking bay. She activated her communicator, routing through 7 encrypted relays before connecting to Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha transmission. Authorization Chen 79er Victor. I have critical intelligence regarding the Kepler station incident. Requesting immediate secure uplink for data transfer. The response came within seconds. Authorization confirmed. Uplink established. Ready to receive. Maya uploaded everything. Names, dates, financial records, communication logs and biological research data. The entire conspiracy was laid bare in irrefutable detail. When the upload completed, she added a personal message. This is Tactical Consultant Maya Chen. My brother Danny Chen was murdered to protect this illegal operation. The people responsible are listed in the attached files. I'm requesting a full investigation under military tribunal authority, and I'm volunteering to testify in person against every single name on that list. No deals, no plea bargains, maximum accountability. Make them pay. Chen is out. She disconnected, feeling lighter somehow. The weight she'd carried since Danny's death hadn't vanished, but it had shifted, transformed from crushing grief into purposeful resolve. Her team leader approached, a scarred veteran named Torres who'd served 3 tours in the outer colonies. "What now, boss? We're officially off the grid here, no official sanction, no backup, and about 40 different organizations that want us dead." Maya looked at her team, these warriors who'd followed her into darkness because they believed in something bigger than orders. "Now we do what humans have always done when faced with impossible odds. We adapt, we survive, we fight, and we make sure everyone who thinks they can get away with murdering innocents learns a very painful lesson, which is that you don't pick fights with Deathworlders, because we're the species that turns survival into an art form, warfare into science, and revenge into justice. We're reformed monsters, and when you threaten what we love, we remember exactly why the galaxy learned to fear Earth." Torres grinned. "Hell yeah. Where do we start?" Maya pulled up the datapad, scanning through names and locations. So many targets, so much work to do, but for the first time since Danny's death, she felt purpose instead of pain. "We start by showing the galaxy what happens when humans stop playing nice. Assemble the team, full combat loadout. We have a lot of people to visit, and I want to make sure each conversation is absolutely unforgettable." She looked up at the stars visible through the bay's atmospheric shield. Somewhere out there, corporations and military officials and criminal syndicates were about to learn that killing a human's family came with consequences that no amount of money or power could protect against. Maya Chen had entered an alien arena quietly. She'd shattered their champion using ancestral combat passed down through generations. Now she was going to shatter an entire conspiracy using the same principle. Not with overwhelming force, not with advanced technology, but with patience, skill, and the terrifying determination of a species that spent millennia learning to kill, then chose to use that knowledge to protect instead. Her brother would have been proud. And that, finally, felt like enough. Subscribe and like to my channel for more HFY sci-fi stories.